I think that worked. All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going? So, gotta be a girl for a minute, fix my hair, and then I'm going to dive into the intel today. So, welcome. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it live because, to be honest with you, I have been overly intensely exhausted because I overworked just a little bit. And as you guys know, as a projector, you can't do that. And we're in very vulnerable times. We have to keep our immune system super high vibe right now. And so I got so overly worked and exhausted that I thought maybe I was sick. And so it was intense. So, hey, everybody, let us know where you're coming from, where you're jumping on from, and say hi. Hey, Christopher. Hey. And let us know what part of the world you're tuning in from. We're going to dive into the intel. Share this out with your friends if you want, and give us a shout out. For those of you who don't know me, welcome to our community. This is Raquel and Davidian, Unleash Your Genius, and we are human design guides. So we're going to be talking about this situation from the perspective of human design. Hey, from Montreal, Canada. Awesome. Roniel, nice to have you. Hey, everybody. Jelena, welcome. Welcome, everybody. So we're going to come at this from a lot of different perspectives today. And I do want to let you guys know that if you are feeling tired, it is really important to let yourself rest, especially if you're a projector. So we are live. This is a live streaming in case someone's listening to the replay. This is live. And we're going to be talking about the COVID-19 and 2027 mutation on a deeper level. Hey, Chelsea Ford. Hey, Michael Gregory, Orlando. It's hot. It's pretty cold. It's been pretty cold here, interestingly enough. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this journey that we're going to be taking through human design and through the 2027 mutations, what we're going to be talking about today. Hey, Amy. Awesome. Good to have you. So I'm taking it that you guys can see me and hear me. So we're going to dive into the intel. I want to go at this from a lot of different perspectives. So I am an investigator. I like to investigate things. I'm also a learner and a spiritual teacher. So I like to look at things from different perspectives. I do believe that when we see things from different perspectives, we get higher perception. So when we allow ourselves to move out of duality thinking, and we go into non-duality, which means that we're in the perspective that we're all one and that there are higher reasons and then there are higher purposes for things that are happening on the planet. And at the same time, something didn't feel right for me when this whole crisis started to happen. I can't help myself. I like to dive into what might be really happening, what is the underlying reasons. I think in this country we had a hard time really jumping on board with all of the immediate rules and regulations because a lot of people don't trust the news on some level. There's been a lot of fake news over the last decade, or not decade, really last 5 years or 3 years or however long it's been when fake news started. And so there's been this real intensity of trying to sort through what is going on, what's happening. Are any of these conspiracy theories accurate? And so from my perspective, a lot of them are not. And I think some of them might have truth, um, but we don't really need to worry about that. What we need to worry about is how to lift up and be in alignment with the light. Because remember that in order for things to heighten and for us to grow, we need pressure. And sometimes we need obstacles, and sometimes we need to feel the intensity to trust and leap and move into higher and higher states of light and higher states of trust. Many of you know what I'm talking about, and many of you may be needing to process this through your body. Like if you start to get a teeny bit sick or feel a teeny bit tired, you might be processing this virus through. As light workers, that might be part of what you're here to do. And I know that's what I've been going through the past couple of days, is really feeling like I'm processing and moving through some very, very intense stuff, whatever's happening on the planet. Let us know what your thoughts are as far as that goes. I'm curious what my community is feeling and thinking about all of that. Yes, exactly. The corona means crown, and the corona is really it's turning on the crown of fire. I love that. Thank you for that. Yeah, I've been feeling lungs, chest, even though I'm not sick with it. Twin flame. What a great name. Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly what I've been going through, is feeling it in my throat, feeling tired. And I know a lot of you in my community are feeling the creativity and the force in that way, which is awesome. I felt that way too. And that's why I think I overworked a little bit. I was like, oh my God, there's so much creative energy and fuel and fire. And oh, Megan, awesome. Hey, okay, cool. Good to know. Twin flame. I love it. Harmony. Thank you for letting me know. It's good to know who we're talking to, right? Manifest here, invite everyone to share their type. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Share. Let's see who's here. Share your type. And if you're listening to the replay, type your type in. Type your type in the comments below as well. So I want to touch in for a minute. That's what I wanted to say. I lost my train of thought, but it was about the lungs, okay? So one of the things that's really powerful about the lungs, hold on a second, is that in the definitive book, so there's a lot of different pieces of information about this out there, but in the definitive book, what it says is that the lungs, the kidneys, the pancreas, the prostate gland, and the nervous system are all related to the solar plexus. Okay. Now, those of you who are studying this, you know that when you look at your human design chart, the solar plexus is over here. Okay. So this triangle here, if it's colored in brown, that means you're defined. If it's white, you're undefined. So that means that the lungs are associated with the solar plexus. Why is that so important? Well, from the human design perspective, and that's what we're going to look at today, is the 2027 mutation from the human design perspective. And there are a million perspectives out there. There's tons of spiritual teachings, the yoga, the changing times, the awakening, the spiritual awakening. It's in many teachings. But what we teach here and what we've really studied is human design. And the reason why, and just to let you guys know a little of my background, for those of you who don't know me, I have been on a spiritual path for a very, very long time. I trained with shamans and enlightened teachers, and I got my master's in spiritual psychology. I've done a lot of deep spiritual awakening work. So that's a big part of what I bring to the human design piece. And I integrate this human design intel because I think that it is a very, very important way to look at things through the aura mechanics. I've never seen anything so clear. And the idea of the human design intel was to provide you with information that you could utilize during these changing times, during this mutation. And the mutation is happening where else but the solar plexus. The solar plexus in the emotional center. Now, no one really knows what's going to happen as we change in this cycle, okay? Now, in human design, it's a 400-year cycle, and I have 2 other videos that you can go check out and look at if you want a little deeper intel on that. But the 400-year cycle is shifting, and it's happening in the solar plexus, guys, in that area of the emotions. And like I said, no one knows how this is going to go down, but I want to share with you from my perspective, okay? Hey, Amy. Mwah. Love you. So from this human design intel, from this perspective, the solar plexus is going through it's becoming an awareness center, okay? So the spleen is an awareness center, and then we merged in for the ajna center to awaken, according to Ra in the late 1800s or 18 whatever, somewhere around there. The ajna became the awareness center, and that's what brought humans and really helped us become where we are today, was through our thought and through our awareness, right? And now we're in the process of moving that mind into the passenger consciousness. Can also be looked at through non-duality, all of these things. You know, a lot of spiritual teachings talk about that passenger consciousness, right? And the awareness center, the ajna, think about it. Your ajna has, which is like your third eye or your head, right? The ajna, for those of you guys who don't know, give you guys the ajna center here is up at the top, okay? And what's happening is that the solar plexus is moving and becoming an awareness center. Now, Ra believes that, and Ra Uru, who's the founder of human design, I'm not on board with everything he believes, but some of the things are very important. And one of them is that he feels that in 2027, there's going to be a whole new species that's going to be born with this sort of awakened solar plexus. But what's happening now is that there's the 7 years is that we are opening and preparing for sort of a new way of being aware through the emotional center. So think about this from this perspective, okay? If the solar plexus, which has to do with your emotions, how you feel things, it's the emotional waves, becomes aware, okay? From my perspective, because of all of my spiritual training, what I feel is going to happen is that we're not going to just have a sense of we're one, like intellectually. We're going to have a feeling, okay? A feeling, an emotional awareness, an emotional heightened knowing of that sacred truth. That if we could feel each other's emotions and have consciousness around that, at this time also the penta becomes conscious. So right now the penta is unconscious, and it is a homogenizing force. And the penta, if you guys don't know about it, you can watch one of our videos recently. We just did Davidian's video on the penta, which is basically when 3 people come together, they create a transauric entity. That transauric entity moves through space, and it has a will, power, and it's a homogenizing force. What does that mean to have 3 people become conscious of each other and all of a sudden have the awareness of the people with them? it means that they have an insight beyond just the narcissistic, egoic awareness that we have now, which is, as you can see, it's being heightened on the planet, so we can look at it and transcend it. Because, and you can really only do it when you can really only do that in times like this, when you are heightened, when there's a heightened awareness. And that heightened awareness allows you to not be us and them, me and the enemy, me and the other. Okay? It's, we're all in this together. And that's what we're getting with this COVID-19. The breath, the lungs, right? The air. It's the entire world. We are all breathing this in right now, right? The lungs, the solar plexus, the awakening. What else I want to talk about today is one of the other gates that we're moving in towards. So we're moving out of tribal law. We're moving out of the aura mechanics where the tribe will hold everything in place, where the bargain, you give me your power and I'll do this for you. You know, you vote for me and I'll do A, B, and C for you. That's the bargain, okay? We're moving out of that. And all of the aura mechanics of the bargain are going to start falling apart, which is why you got to know this stuff and you got to live it full on. You got to live your own unique awareness, your own unique inner authority. That is the guiding light for these times. As things break down, we don't know what's going on. I can tell you what they're telling us isn't 100% truth, according to me. And the people that I really believe, I'm not saying that the virus isn't very dangerous, because I believe it is, obviously. It's very dangerous, but maybe how it was brought here. You know, there's a lot of ways in which, when we think we're separate, we can lie to each other. But when you're one, you cannot lie, right? You feel what truth is, you know, and you cannot hold that separation anymore, right? So the one breath, the movement, and the breaking down of the tribe. We're moving into the era of the individual. And one of those gates we're moving into is gate 55. Okay. Yes, it's true. There's going to be the integration. We're moving into the integration, the individuality. We have never seen the time of the individual. This is the time of the tribe. Like, you follow what the corporate rules are. You go, you have kids, you have a family, you do A, B, and C. The individual is not honored here. It's you sacrifice yourself for the family, for the good of the tribe, for your company. You know, even right now they're saying, yeah, we got to go back to work. You know, don't worry about some of those people that are going to die, you know, the excess people. I mean, literally people are saying that, like, go back to work. It's cool. Like, the good of the tribe, right? And I get it. Look, I get we don't want our economy to fall apart and whatever, but what I'm trying to say is what's going to happen is we're moving into the time where it's the individual, the power of the individual is what is emerging, the individual, which means that if it's good for the individual, it's good for the tribe. What you need to take care of yourself is going to heal the tribe. So what you need, and I was just speaking with one of my clients last night, and she's like, I just left my job. I couldn't do it anymore. I had to take care of myself and honor my own knowing. And that was so empowering for her. It's an empowerment. And that's what the individual is. It's empowerment. It's self-empowerment. Now imagine, right? The individual is birthing, and also we have gate 55. Now, yes, there's a lot to that gate, and it can be known as provocation, but also it's known as spirit. Okay? The 55 is the awakening of spirit. So when you take yourself first and you pull all your energy back from the fear, from all of the lies or whatever is going on, and you go inside and you align with the sacred truth of who you are, what comes through is divine power, divine light, divine knowing, and divine intention, divine healing. This is not woo-woo talk. This is science now. We have proven this. If you just look at Joe Dispenza's work, he's been documenting this with EEGs studying people's brains when they move into theta. Okay? Gate 55 at its highest, not its lowest, okay? Yes, at its lowest, it will provoke. Yes, at its lowest, it will create tension and emotional chaos, and provocation, and really provoke the shit out of people, let's just say. And that's what's happening, right? And then the 55 at its highest is the awakening of spiritual abundance for all. Abundance for all. There's no competition for the toilet paper. There's more than enough. There's more than enough available on the planet because we do not see into the scarcity and we don't hoard for ourselves out of fear. We make sure there's enough for everyone because that is the natural state, is full abundance. And the 55 is teaching us that. Gate 55 is teaching us the abundance of spirit. And that is where we're moving into. That is the era of the individual. Yes, some people say it's all about survival. That's part of it. Is, who are you going to believe? Yourself or the hospitals? Do you know your own immune system? Do you know your own body? Are you willing to go inside and say, I know what's best for me? Or are you going to sacrifice your own power over to the law of whatever, is asking you to give them your energy, right? So we have to take our power back, empower ourselves as the individual. Now let's go back into that solar plexus, because that gate 55, and I pulled one of the charts here that has this gate 55, if you guys can see here. Oops, I'm on the wrong side. The gate 55 into the solar plexus, right? So the lungs, one breath, contained in the solar plexus. The mutation, making the solar plexus a conscious being. The penta, becoming conscious, right? So what that means is through our own empowerment in our individual knowing, then we realize that it's not all about us. We are connected energetically to the other people on the planet. And the emotional awareness is not just an EQ, like emotional intelligence, right? It's about feeling the other person so much that what you do to hurt them hurts yourself. I can't even imagine the psychosis of not understanding that. That is what the psychosis is of that. It's not just narcissism, it's psychopathy, right? Psychopathy, where if you don't have compassion, and you can literally kill other people, right? That's psychosis. Like, that's psychopathy, right? Like, that's a sociopath, right? And they say, like, a lot of sociopaths don't turn out to be serial killers, they turn out to be CEOs. Why? Because they have no emotion for other people, and they can do whatever it takes to get on top. Well, those days are over. And what we're moving into is a time where everything you do to someone else, you will feel. So powerful, right? Powerful stuff. That's what's happening. That is the breakdown of the mutation. And so trust what's going on inside of you. I started this live training out by saying that I literally had to sleep I had to cancel all my appointments yesterday because I felt a teeny bit of illness. So 50% of us are going to get this virus. So if you can transmute it before you get sick, right? If you're even just the teeniest bit tired, let yourself down and go. What I did, I meditated for an entire day. I meditated on healing, on the light, on transmuting. I meditated on the highest potential for humanity, the highest awakening for humanity, all of us stepping into our next evolved state, our next level of evolution. Because when we do that, it has power, it has an impact, because we all are one. But we don't know it right now. But that's what I'm saying, is that is what we are going to be moving towards. Why I've been feeling individual focus for so long. It's getting stronger for sure. Exactly. And the thing is that those of us who have been feeling this mutation, you've been feeling being an individual, being an outsider. Those of you who, projectors, who have any individual circuitry, you are kind of leading the way for this, where you may feel like an outsider. You may have felt like a black sheep. You may not fit into your family. All of these things, that's a sign. And all of you who have been feeling that, you are the leaders now, and you are the ones who are going to be showing the way of, because when people leave tribes, it's intense for them. There's blackmail, there's a lot of, a tribe can be incredibly loving if you fit in. But if you don't and you want to leave, that's where all of the viciousness happens. If you think of like the cults and, but that on a smaller scale, even in families, if you do something your parents don't like or the family doesn't like, right? You are ostracized. Good questions, you guys. And by the way, if you want to put in some questions, I'll look at some right now. Jelena says, does it mean that people who have the 55 in their chart will first feel this mutation? Yeah. I would say, yeah, that is where it is happening. It's individual emotions, and the individual emotions are definitely going to feel that and be needed to sort of lead and be an individual. So I would say definitely the 50 and also the 34-20. That's another big area of the awakening of the mutation. My energy's been completely hijacked. This is Shauna. Hi, Shauna. My energy is completely hijacked for 2+ weeks. I'm a 1/4 projector, totally sitting still and trusting. Yeah, so I have been really in this intensity. And the one thing I will have to say is what happened for me, and this is just my experience, and everyone's going to have a different experience, right? I realized that I don't drink coffee every day, but I was drinking it to give me like, a little get up and go, right? And so I woke up this morning, my body's like, no more artificial stimulant at all, because I'm a projector and I didn't know when enough is enough. So that's a common theme, not just for projectors, but anyone who is undefined sacral, which is going to include our manifestors on the call, and it's going to include our projectors and reflectors, right? So anytime you don't know when enough is enough. And so I'm putting that out there just because I woke up and realized I needed to do turmeric and do ginger and do like really high vibe teas instead, which is what I'm drinking now. And the honey, the that really high expensive honey we did, and I made this tincture instead of coffee so that I don't push myself when I'm tired artificially. So confusing to me how to lead as a projector. What about gate 41? Are you meaning gate 41 just in general, or are you talking about in the mutation? So the 55 goes to the 39. So the opposite side of the 55 is the 39. But yeah, explains a lot. I have gate 55 in my design. Yeah. So as you go deeper through this stuff, it's going to start popcorning. So to lead as a projector, projectors are meant to lead. So projectors are here to lead the penta, okay? They are here to actually, in a perfect world, they're outside the penta, meaning, let's say, outside of the business, leading, guiding, and directing from a perspective going, that works, that doesn't work, don't do that, don't spend your energy there, put your energy here, do A, B, and C. Sort of like a teacher or a guide. But the thing is that a projector really does have to step into their mastery, and sometimes that takes time. Sometimes it takes trial and error. Sometimes it takes, depending on what the rest of your design is, it takes a little time to get that mastery and to learn how to actually wait for the invitation and for the recognition. And it's not an easy process. Also, the deconditioning, which Megan, you're going to be going through starting on the 31st. We're going to go through that deconditioning in our certification program. And it's really like, to go step by step through it like that is so, so powerful. And then you will naturally emerge as a leader. It just will happen because you'll have the experiential knowing. You got to get it in the body and really experience it, you know? So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that all of the gates and channels will have some kind of an impact, and also depending on what's happening in your own chart, what's happening with the weather. Today I was just talking about the actual mutation of 2027, which means that the 400-year cycle is already starting to break down. So within the 400 years of the era, the planning, it's the cross of planning, all of that stuff is starting to break apart. And also what we see in that is the gate 16 and the gate 52, which is the collective logic. Okay, so where the system is also, we've relied on logic, A plus B equals C, and logically this is how things work, and you're already seeing that falling apart. Logic is not working like it used to. We relied on logic because it was integrated into the collective aura mechanics, and that we've relied on logic. And so the system for logic is starting to break apart. And what happens is there are other ways of knowledge. There are other ways of knowing things, and it's called intuition. It's called knowing. Not know how and not know where you got it from, but you know the truth. Okay? And that only comes with time of knowing who you are. Because if you, in any way, shape, or form, have relied on other people to tell you what's correct for your life, if you've relied on other people to direct or give you advice, or if there's somebody you always go to, can you tell me what to do about this situation, that situation? All of that is going to fall apart, and there's going to be one person to rely on, and that's you. And when you go inside, what's going to happen is you're going to start to see the chaos and the chaotic nature of the mind. And the chaotic nature of the mind is how your conditioning speaks to you. It's chaos. And so it's not the passenger consciousness, which we teach in human design, is only one small piece of the puzzle, because to train that mind to be a passenger, it is the work of the mystics, the swamis. It takes a lot of work to move out of the craziness. And right now, it is very intense for people because there's a slowdown. The generator fuel has to stop. So this is the other interesting thing. I always teach, and we know this in human design, my generators, my MGs, all of you guys, the first thing you have to learn how to do is wait to respond, right? But what comes before response? Well, it's called waiting. And the waiting is so hard to do. And now we're seeing a forced wait for the entire population. And it's powerful. It's game changing. So it's really important to take advantage of that, because all of us get to feel that slowness. And the force of the generator in that frustrating fuel, that just drives things into the ground. That just hurts people. It hurts the environment. It's, a very powerful force in the wrong direction, causing pollution, planetary pollution, right? A video on deconditioning. That's a great suggestion. And by the way, I know I've missed some chats. So if I missed your chat and your comment, I really apologize. It scrolls up pretty quickly. So if I missed it, then I will go back though, and I will do that. But I probably won't do it today because, like I said, my energy is going less and less and less into more of a meditative field for a little while until I have my full energy back. I can only imagine how much stronger my knowing is going to be after deconditioning, right? And that is what this whole human design process was for me. When my teacher said, you've been trained as an MG, manifesting generator, I'm like, oh my God, totally. So true. Just so true. I've been pushing, forcing, trying to make stuff happen for so long. So the deconditioning process is a magical journey. And this is the time to do it, because we are all in a forced lockdown to transform. So I want to wrap up this live, and I want you guys to know, I'm sorry if I missed any of your chats. I will go back, but I want to end with an intention, a centering, if you guys can do this with me. So just everybody take a second to just close your eyes. This is a non-denominational moment. Some people might call it prayer or meditation, or I call it centering, but it's a time to go inside, to connect in with your highest light, your most aware light, and just allow yourself to let go of anything else but this moment. And if you're listening to the recording or this video later, it's the sacred now. So everybody breathe in with me, and breathe in the light of healing, of knowing, of transformation, seeing this from a higher perspective, which is that this is an opportunity to awaken to our highest truth, an opportunity to awaken in our greatest knowledge, our greatest knowing. This is an opportunity. From the highest perspective, we have the ability to step into higher light and healing, and to move into compassion and kindness for humans, for the human experience, and for the transition that we're in. So with that, I'm going to wrap up for today. I want to send you guys all my love and all my support. and know that this human design intel is really a powerful tool for this time. It's an incredibly powerful tool. So thank you guys for being here, spreading the word about human design. I think I'm opening the door to one more spot in my certification, which is starting on the 31st. If you guys are feeling that calling, because one person had to drop out. I like to do small groups and very powerful work. So if anyone's feeling the call, reach out to me at support@raquelreina.com. Amy, you're so welcome. Thank you, Jelena. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Amy Sawyer. Oh, Amy Sawyer and Amy. We got two Amy's. All right, guys. Love and light to all. Stay healthy. If you feel tired, especially if you're a projector, sleep. That's my advice. All right. Mwah. Bye, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe also to our channel if you haven't yet. Hey, Audra. Hey, Ava. Love you guys.